I tell that thing to our leaders. Think about it. But now remember that place, like Elijah, has suffered some loss as he stands now. Yes. Are there not marriages that have scattered? Didn't you hear me when I said that a young man could not live with a young man? What about some young women that I know? And they will not stay together? Bickering, quarreling, fighting. But they say they are children of God. I don't agree. I don't agree. Feuding everywhere. Husband and wife. Brother to brother. Are there no people that have defrauded other people? You deal with them in the things that concerning money. Now, and one woman sent a message, and the message reached me, how that she was duped by some people in church. Bring money for this, they contributed, and then, piam, nothing is happening, and everybody, the people disappear. And woman said, I'm wounded. There are those that are in church, but when it comes to money, you will see their red eye. There are those that are in church, and the Lord told me some time ago as I was praying concerning some things, and he said, they are schemers. They are scheming. There are people to marry. These other people will not marry them. All the people that were packaged and sent overseas for education and those things and for ministry, they are all married. The other people have been sidelined. They are not married. They are not marriageable. And the Lord said they are schemers. Yes. It is time for everybody to shine his or her eyes, to know that the days are numbered. Look at my face. The handsome man is no more what he used to be. Time is fast spent. Life is short. So, you come to this ministry, I urge you to try to understand. This is why this ministry is raised. I was discussing with one of our brothers that did fantastic thing, and then the church in Liberia sprouted. And then because I was not sure that I was still remembering everything, I called him on phone to ask him, this is what I understand. This is what you told me. Now I narrated it. He told me that that's how it happened. This person was a military person, a naval personnel, and he went for what they called ECOMOG in Liberia, a mission of a conglomerate of nations, African nations, I suppose. And then he said, he was born again at my hand during a meeting titled Freedom. October 1, became born again before he went on that mission. And then carried that zeal, and then went to that place, and was carrying the zeal of ensuring that this thing that I receive here, this thing that God has given to us, that I let it out. And every Sunday, he will go to Roman Catholic Mass and come out after early morning Mass. He will go to another Pentecostal church to get food, and then was following a particular Bible study series to make himself remain a child of God. And then, what am I going to do? Even though I'm a soldier, military person, but I must do something. So, and then he began to go from place to place. And he said one of the times, as he was going out to look for some people to preach to, he saw a man with a small Bible, New Testament, by the corner, and was reading a particular portion of scriptures, the book of Revelation. And then this our brother went to him and said, "Do you understand what you're reading?" The man didn't understand what he was reading. But thanks be to God, he had followed a Bible study series that dealt with that particular chapter of Revelation. And then he began to explain. And in the course of the man said, "Stop. It is not only me that will hear this." That's how the Watchman began. One thing led to the other, and the ministry started. And I remember very well, long ago, when I went to that place. Now, it was that man was still there. And then they checked me into a hotel long ago. And then, as I was sitting in the reception of the hotel, now shortly, 9:00 p.m., 8, 9. Now, youths, 14 years, girls, 15 years, 16 years, began to come into the hotel for night party, wearing skimpy things, 14 years, 15 years in Liberia. And my heart broke. And as they were coming in, I left that place and began to go to my room upstairs. And the owner of the hotel looked at me and said, "You don't like club? You don't like nightclub?" I didn't answer him. I went up crying. When it was morning, I told our pastor, "Check me out from this place. I can't see this thing again." And they checked me out, and I stayed there and cried my heart out. I am trying to tell you, Watchman. So, but today I was reviewing the Watchman, reviewing the zeal that started the Liberian church and what happened when I went there. And then as I was in that room, I began to cry and prayed sensibly and cried and told God, "If you don't let me see a youth converted in pacification of what I saw in the hotel, I die in Liberia." I prayed, I said, "I want to die. Unless you let a youth and I will see it." Guess what? We went to fellowship. And after ministering, they said, "There is a girl that wants to see you." And as the girl came, Agatha by name, dark beauty, she fell down and wept and wept and wept. I wasted my life at my age weeping and praying and became drastically born again. Then I said, "Lord, so you answer prayer this way? That's my consolation." A number of years ago, I asked about Agatha. Agatha is late. Did you see the Watchman? What is the situation now? Did you see the way it started? Let's go to that place and let us know what the situation now is. Did you see the ministry that people stake their lives? Did you see the ministry that people were friends? Nobody fueled my Peugeot car. Nobody fueled the car of any other person that we used in those days. We put the vehicles on the road to everywhere. I remember one of the times we were traveling. Listen to me. As I tell the stories, you will tell me whether that is what is happening today. And you will tell me whether this restorer doesn't need restoration with the stories that I'm telling. And then, but we were playing a message. The title of that message was Serving a Patient God with Impatience. Impatient people serving a patient God. And then the young preacher now expressed all the patience that God manifested. All the patience that God manifested because he knew that at 30 years, I was going to become a child of God. And then excuse me for all the stupidity. For all the stupidity. Excuse me for all. You want fight? Let's go ahead. You want hatred? Let it begin today. But he knew that this person was going to find him and was patient from all those days through to 1975. For 30, okay, let's say I became reasonable at the age of 7 for 23 years. And then at the end of the day, the preacher said, impatient folks serving a patient God. And then I told the person driving the vehicle to pull up. We pulled up and come see prayers. Today, people come to church and they don't pray. And we prayed and prayed and cried by the roadside until we got satisfied. And then we began our journey again. The watchman is a champion. The watchman is an instrument of restoration. But that instrument of restoration has suffered some loss. Very, very clear. Think about it. Ask yourself. Jeshurun has waxed fat and rebelled. Israel was holiness unto the Lord. But because of the non-negotiable assignment that had been designed for this ministry, the Lord is now willing to get it restored. But let me conclude by telling you a number of things. Listen, one of the things I want to conclude with telling you is telling you that restoration can only be restoration if the person was having what had been taken. Elijah was a man of God, full of faith. And then Jezebel knocked everything out. And so he was restored. In the case of the watchman, there are people that do not need restoration, they need regeneration. Because there is nothing they have had. The person that is being restored is somebody that has had something. So everybody that is coming to this ministry, every person, every woman, every man, every boy, every girl, think. This is a new era, and God wants to do something. In fact, I had titled that all that is coming is the Lord's doing. That is the doing of God. The things that he wants to do. Oh my God, there are numerous. And I am sure. So, all that somebody needs is, okay, I understand. I am in a place, but it's not just one of the places. I had said in the meeting I had 2 Sundays ago that everybody in the Watchman is a worker. We don't have idlers. We don't have people that are standing on the fence because there is no fence. People that are standing by the sideline because there are no sidelines. I encourage every person to look deep into what has been stated. Is all well? Is all well? The answer is all is not well. It is time to pray. I am done. Is all well? As we return our music team or sing the song, thy word have I hid in my heart, I may not sin against you. As they are singing it and somebody is saying, I agree with you, preacher, all is not well. I see it very clearly, all is not well. Left, right, and center, all is not well. But all is supposed to be